Everything that you know about running may be wrong. You may have been lied to. You may have lied to yourself. Running faster doesn't always make you faster. In fact, it could be holding you back. For years, I've pushed too hard, trained too fast, and kept burning out until I learned the truth. There is a zone, a heart rate range, where your body transforms, where you burn fat, build endurance, and actually get faster by running slower. Today, I want to share with you some surprising science behind it, my experience, and it may just change the way you train forever. Hey, my name is David. I'm the plant-powered runner. I've been using the Maffetone method on and off for the last 5 years. I've been using zone 2 running, training by heart rate at a low heart rate, trying to get faster. And I'll tell you something, a little secret, maybe not so much of a little secret for some of you. The truth is, it does work. And this is how. When I started training by heart rate, I thought I found the holy grail. But I also started to realize that this could be a problem for a lot of runners, specifically those who have played the part of no pain, no gain. We can only do it for so long. Dave, what is heart rate training? What is zone 2? Well, zone 2 is the second zone of 5 zones that I typically train in, and I know a number of other runners do as well. And it is where it is very easy running, extremely easy. You have a conversational pace, meaning you can talk to somebody without gasping for air. That is zone 2. And this is a zone that you could literally cruise and run for a long time. I know for me, when I was training for my ultra marathon, I chose this zone to run in because I knew it would get me to the finish line of a 50 miler. Now, I have grand ambitions of running a 100 miler one day. However, to get there, zone 2 is going to be my preferred zone to be able to run because I just want to finish. I don't have really a time goal. Now, if you have a time goal, you know that you will have to do some more faster workouts, more threshold runs. That will have to happen, but first off, you have to start with zone 2, and it's about 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. Now, if you don't know what your maximum heart rate is, you can watch this video here and it'll help explain that. But if you already have all of your zones down, you know where zone 2 is. If you're using the Maffetone method 180 minus your age, and those are the beats that you're going to run for each kilometer, each mile, that is where you're going to be. Now, you have a range. You have an upper threshold and a lower threshold, right? Not too fast, not too slow. When you find your MAF number, right, that is your maximum aerobic function. That is that number that we talk about when we talk about beats per minute. That's where you want to be at, okay? You're no higher than that number. Now, you gotta have to have a little bit of grace because your watch or a strap or an armband, they'll all give you different results. So there's an error of maybe, 2-3 beats up or down, okay? But if you get that high number and then you go 10 beats down, that's your zone that you want to be in. It's a good zone to be in that you can run for a long distance. So zone 2, highly recommend to be able to run those longer distances. It's the opposite of everything social media tells you. No pain, no gain, no sprinting, no STRAVA flexing. Look, it's just easy, steady effort, and the results, they can be insane. The hidden superpower inside your legs, I'm not kidding. Right now, inside your legs is a power plant, and it's called mitochondria. And slow running is the secret to making more of them. And these tiny engines are what turns oxygen and fat into energy. And zone 2 is the only zone that builds them like crazy. The more you have, the longer and faster you can run. I'm not kidding when I say that. It is no exaggeration that I say that. When I started using this method of running slow to get faster, I watched my pace come down. I watched the distance I ran go up. I watched my heart rate stay the same. It is something that I wish I had learned like way long ago when I first started running, because I'll tell you, it probably would have changed the game a lot more than it already has for me since I've discovered running slow to get faster and building up my aerobic base. There is some surprising science behind Zone 2. Mitochondria and fat burning studies show that Zone 2 running increases the protein PGCA1, and it's the master switch for building new mitochondria. And that means more energy, more endurance, and more fat being used as fuel. Burn fat efficiently, spare glycogen so you don't crash later in a race. Improve insulin sensitivity and weight control. Now here's the twist. Running slow helps you handle faster runs. It increases slow twitch muscle fibers, MCT1 transporters, which help clear the lactate and that burning fatigue you get during hard runs. Have you ever gone out for a run and thought, you know, this is going to be the day that I'm going to run faster. This is going to be the day that I'm going to see the results I want. This is going to be the day that I break my PRs. This is going to be the day that I get on the scale and I've dropped so much weight. These go through my head all the time. But what I will tell you is running slow to get faster takes time. You got to enjoy the process. It doesn't happen overnight. I mean, the consistency alone will get you so far. The running slow will build up that aerobic base only so far. You can only run so slow before you have to start running fast. Look, I have a lot of endurance built into me. I've been doing this for a long time. However, I allowed my snacking habits and eating habits get the best of me. It slowed me down, but my endurance is still there. Like, I can still go out and do these 6-mile runs, 10K runs, you know, like I can still do it day after day after day. Everywhere I run, there's literally guys from Hydro One cutting down all the branches and trees and stuff after that big ice storm a couple of months ago. So I am trying to bump up my runs to like 4 days now. I'm doing what I can. Like, I would love to get out every day, but there are things I have to do that don't pertain to running or looking after myself, but looking after other people. That has to come first. Heart rate's starting to climb. Gotta walk for a bit. Bring it back down. It's a problem. When I'm filming these videos, as I run, my heart rate rises. And so that's an interesting thing. If you're training by heart rate and you're trying to have a conversational pace, there's always a wonder of, you know, am I going too fast? Because if I got to keep a certain heart rate and I'm talking, God, that would even be harder to do. Maybe that's like, I know, it looks like there's a storm maybe coming. Oh, okay, I gotta walk. Okay, I'm on the outskirts of town now. Not a lot going on. I'm surprised that place is still standing. So abandoned. Alright. Eugenia Falls down there. Maybe we'll take a look at that before we finish off today. And right ahead of me is my car's at the other end. Let's let the adventure begin. There's a slight incline up over here. And I've got, I don't know, how many kilometers do I have left? I got 2.5 kilometers. That's probably about like a mile and a half, maybe. Anyways, let's get going. Sometimes I want to run the hills. Sometimes I allow myself to run the hills. But if I do, I have to realize that my heart rate is going to climb. That's just reality. But I need to feel a burn. Need to feel like, need to just feel how hard it is and treat this as a leg workout. As gravity beats me down, I rise to the occasion. Just one step in front of the other. Heart rate continues. 156. I'm running slow. My heart rate's catching up to me. $159. It's probably a car coming too. Oh. 160. 61. Oh, I can feel it in my glutes. Come on, Dave. You get there. Okay, it's nice when you get up to the top, only to go back down again. This okay, getting close to the finish line. Getting close to the finish line. I'll be able to show you the dam that's up ahead. Okay, I do not have trail shoes on. Don't fall, Dave. Don't fall. Please, pick your feet up. Hell yeah. There's the lake. I'm on the top of the dam. I like that house. Let's start with what Zone 2 actually is. It is the pace where you can hold a conversation without gasping. For most people, it's around 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. It's going to feel way too easy, and to be quite honest, that is the point. That This is the zone where your body, it builds endurance at a cellular level. And psychologically speaking, zone 2 targets your aerobic energy system. Unlike the higher intensity efforts that rely on carbohydrates for quick bursts of energy, zone 2 focuses on fat oxidation, and this trains your body to burn more fat efficiently, which is key for endurance. It was when I ran my 50 miler. Now, it also builds mitochondrial biogenesis. And mitochondria are the tiny powerhouses in your cells that generate energy. And look, the more you have, the more efficient your muscles can perform over longer distances. They've got more energy. They've got more oomph, let's say. Now, there's a hidden superpower inside your legs. Yes, that's right. Right now, inside your legs, there is a hidden powerhouse. Now, it's not your muscles, and it's not your lungs, because your lungs aren't in your legs. It is your mitochondria. And zone 2 running builds more of them. And when you have more mitochondria, you don't just run longer, you run faster with less effort. It takes a while to build your base to have that amount of mitochondria, but it does work. Here's what happens to your body during zone 2 training. This is when you're running nice and slow. The first thing is fat oxidation improves dramatically. And it is a key study by these people here that was done in 2004. And maximal fat burning occurs at about 54% of VO2 max, which is right in your zone 2. Your body learns to burn fat instead of carbs, meaning more sustainable energy over longer periods of time. Now, on top of that, you also have capillary density increases. With regular low-intensity running, training, your body builds more capillaries to deliver oxygen and nutrients to your muscles. And this boosts energy. This boosts endurance and helps with recovery. The other thing it does is it clears lactate. So lactate clearance becomes more efficient in zone 2. And it helps develop your slow twitch muscle fibers, which are rich in mitochondria and MCT1 transporters. These are the proteins that shuttle the lactate into the mitochondria to be used for energy. Heart stroke volume increases. Now, zone 2 running allows your heart to become more efficient, pumping more blood per beat, and this reduces your resting heart rate and improves cardiovascular function over time. Now, metabolic flexibility improves. A constant low-intensity aerobic work improves your ability to switch between burning carbs and fats depending on demand, and this means less crashing in longer events and better energy regulation overall. Even better, these adaptations don't cause nearly as much wear and tear as high-intensity training, and this means you can train more consistently, recover faster, stay injury-free, and just enjoy the process without having to kind of restart all over again every time you get injured. And this is why elite runners run slow 80% of the time. Look, Kipchoge, Jornet, nearly every elite athlete on the planet spends 80% of their training at a low intensity. Not because it feels good, but because it is the most efficient way to build speed and resilience. They're not just running slow, they're getting faster while doing it. And that is the number one point that I'm trying to make. Now the results, right? Proof zone 2 works. So you may still be skeptical. So we can talk data. And so this study here by these folks in 2006 examined the effects of polarized training, 80% easy and 20% hard. And the athletes who followed this model improved their endurance performance significantly more than those that were doing moderate intensity or even just threshold work only. There was another study on triathletes in 2007 that showed a group doing mostly doing zone 2 training improved their lactate threshold and VO2 max performance more than those doing tempo and speed focused work. Now this shows that low intensity running isn't just for beginners or weight loss. It helps serious athletes peak, What's more, Zone 2 reduces the injury risk. Low-intensity training had far fewer overuse injuries than those on high-intensity plans. And this means less time on the sidelines and more time progressing. By staying in Zone 2, you're able to train longer, more often, with less physical stress, and over time, this builds a deep aerobic base that becomes the foundation for you to build on for all of your future speed work endeavors. So here's what I would love for you to do. First off, I'd love for you to run. But number two is I'd love for you to find your Zone 2 heart rate. The Maffetone method is a very simple start. Right? You can do 180 minus your age, and that is the heart rate that you will stay accountable to. Now, you could also commit to Zone 2 training for 30 days, right? Do 3 to 4 runs per week in this zone, ideally anywhere from 45 to 90 minutes each. Track your progress, note your pace at your Zone 2 heart rate, and you'll notice the pace getting faster even though your heart rate stays the same. It isn't a fad, it's science. If you stick with it, your aerobic capacity will expand, your endurance will skyrocket, your risk of injury will drop. If you found that this video helped you see running in a new way, hit the like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you want a free beginner running plan. Like, remember, to go fast later, you have to go slow now. So like I always say, get out and run. We'll see you on the next one.